objectives, trying to use this team fighting composition that they had. But unfortunately for them, Suning did a really good job of reading how they wanted to play against that and not giving the opportunity for LGD to win out in these side lanes.
And it felt like once LGD had lost control of the map a little bit, Suning were never going to give them it back.
Yep.
Suning were constantly applying pressure in different portions of the map. And I feel like a lot of it is going to come down to the draft, as it always does, but especially for Xie. Not having this twist of fate feels like a real issue for him. And over towards the side of Suning, they haven't banned it out just yet.
Instead, LGD, Syndra, Lee Sin, and Camille gone. So a lot of respect paid towards that last game in LGD's bans. On the opposite side, the Nidalee gone, the Caitlyn gone. We imagine the Twisted Fate will be the next to go. There it is. As we move in towards our first pick. Now, this does leave open the Renekton, which has been super high priority both in their third, fourth place match and in this series so far. Option, though, to always go towards something like that Ashe as well.
We'll see what direction LGD want to start this draft off, because we've seen them lock in like first pick junglers and things like that as well in the past. Also, the Zoe is available. Xie played fine on the Zoe in that last game, some really great bubbles across the course of it. It is going to be that notorious first pick Renekton though.
And I feel like here for Suning, you just lock in that Graves that you were talking about. Means that you've got like the higher priority jungler of what is left at the moment. Go and go towards something towards Huanfeng like the Ashe in the bottom lane if you want to, or even hold off on the AD carry pick. Lock in something like some of these blind pickable mid laners.
Well, we're hovering a Quinn right now, Dagda, and as Hysteric said it earlier on, been very much like a diet the shy, right? He very much wants to dominate the laning phase. I would love to see him go for that Quinn, but it's going to be the Ezreal for Huanfeng to start this one off. And it's interesting to see such priority on this Ezreal when things like the Ashe are still available.
Especially as we were saying, look, this is a composition, at least a team on LGD that very much like to spike in this mid game. Ezreal is obviously an AD carry that can spike pretty hard in that mid game, but the issue is that you forego a lot of the early game power that some of these other earlier picks can bring. And when Suning are just banking on hitting this late game, having their shot calling be the difference maker, trying to shore up some of this early game power may have been a better option here for Suning.
So let's look towards the mid lane then for LGD as Xie goes with this Orianna, a little bit more lane presence and definitely a lot of late game carry potential, but he's up against Angel, who last game on the Syndra, this time banned out, took that Zoe away from Xie. So a bit of a different dynamic in that mid lane. And Kramer looking towards this Jhin. And we could see a game here where Ashe is just completely ignored.
And I prefer the Jhin here. Jhin is actually so much better at dealing with these longer range compositions like the Ezreal and the Zoe are opting in for, because you've got the Deadly Flourish that can come out on a much shorter cooldown. You have more opportunities to get on towards these key members, and that Curtain Call as well, the slows that buffers can give LGD the opportunity to speed up and catch Suning, who look like they're going for this poke composition.
It definitely is leaning in that direction, isn't it? And we saw the Quinn hovered earlier, but this Jace going to do a similar job up on the top side. It can be very difficult for Renekton to find that all in, but if he does find it, Jace is doomed.
Yeah, that's the big thing here, is that you can have the Renekton, if he's able to find that all-in, win out. Across the board here for Suning, though, winning top lane match, you've got a winning, at least push in power in that mid lane for the Zoe here as well. So now with two lanes there that they can play through, I wouldn't be surprised to see Suning go towards something like a Set that can work in conjunction with these winning lanes, and especially when we look towards a jungle that needs to be able to play that disengage side with Lee Sin gone. Set fits that bill super well, providing the disengage and some strong re-engage power when given the opportunity.
And now as we look towards the Bandstag Day, you can see Suning recognize that they want Peanut off of these carries here. They're going to take away the Kindred, now taking away the Lilia as well, trying to remove the things that Peanut can play towards the late game with. And it could signal that maybe they're the ones to go for the Graves this time around.
It looks like they are going to go for it. The only issue that I have if you go towards the Graves is, who do you let go? Like, how do you try and provide anyone that can tank up some of these Deadly Flourishes, who, if you end up in a flank, can try and get this Renekton off you? You need some sort of peel and disengage, and I'm not seeing it on this Suning lineup right now. It feels like what they're trying to do is bait LGD in towards either going the Graves route, which means that you don't have a huge amount of engage, or going towards the Set, which needs to try and run in on top of Suning, but Suning are great at just moving away from that.
Or maybe the Skarner that is being hovered and will be locked in. We've seen it from both of these junglers. It, I will say, has not looked that great. So, I don't know, maybe Peanut's got something up his sleeve here. Maybe he can show us why this is becoming a bit of a pick.
All right, let's get our rock quotes out. Let's get the Scorpion King ready, because it's going to be Peanut coming back towards Skarner. Twice he's played it, and I haven't been impressed with this, though. Especially against the composition that we said you have to try and run into. Skarner is not the champion that could really lock these up in the manner that you want, especially with all the slows, the kite back, the speed ups that are coming in on Suning's side.
I mean, if you think back to like literally years ago, last time Skarner was meta, Olaf was the answer because you can't ult him. Yeah. He's happy to 1v1 you. He is happy to take you on in those early skirmishes. That is Olaf's comfort zone. So SRFM certainly having a matchup he's comfortable with, and having that counter pick that we talked about that has been so prevalent for Suning in the playoffs. Yeah,
Suning have completely outdrafted LGD here. They have the space to have a winning team fight where they can just poke away at LGD the entire time. LGD don't really have the tools to make that play unless you get some sort of miracle hook coming in from Mark or a flank position coming in from either top side or jungle. But overall, you have Suning with 2 winning lanes in mid and top that they can play through early and set up this Olaf as well for success.
We'll see if SOFM can be set up for success. But one of the big questions for me is honestly just, can LGD get the ball rolling early? Because that's what felt like it was lacking in the first game. And with this Skarner at level 6, you have a whole heap of opportunity just to get yourself some free kills.
Again, I feel like this is where I want to check out Peanut's early pathing. Last time he did take the Predator on this Skarner, but didn't actually back in time to pick up those early boots and go aggressive. Actually ended up farming to like 5.5 minutes and missed that timing window for the Predator. This time around, he needs to get on the map early, and especially when you've got someone like Mark and that Renekton in the top lane that you can play through, work with those powers.
We'll see if he's going to be able to get into the lanes this time around. SOFM, on the other hand, quite happy to power farm, quite happy to get into the lanes as well. Olaf, one of these champions that he can kind of do a bit of both. Certainly happy to go into the early game battles, but I have to say, we're going into game number 2 here, and I like what Suning have in the draft, but LGD, they're not going to go down without a fight while Worlds is on the line. All right, well, we're onto the map here for game number 2 of our series. Suning starting things off strong, and I have to mention the fact that Suning, in our 3rd place match, hang on.
Oh, Mark.
No, not like this. Angel going to get himself a paddle start into the brushes. As SOFM is targeted down, flashes away, but he might just go down on this one. The heal in the last second from Sword Flash over from Xie. He's exhausted and can't finish the kill. He might be the one to go down. One more auto goes the way of Sword Art. And now Huanfeng, he's on the pinch on this one. Mark will have his hook available shortly as Peanut tries to back away. But Lanxing, the one in trouble, still has his flash available. Huanfeng just dishing out as many Mystic shots as he can. Suning get themselves an early fight.
Suning do find that early win, the kill going to Sword Art though. My mind though is going towards where the flashes were burnt. Both Bin and SOFM. Lanxing, where are you going, buddy? Go back. Leave it alone.
Lanxing really wants to get in towards the top lane here. Still has his flash. Bin does not, but Bin, he's going to have a lot of pressure in this top side no matter what.
The thing that I want to see from Peanut here, though, is the path from buff to buff into a 3rd camp on this bottom side so he can return top side. No flash on Bin. You go for a Predator gank onto this Jace. He is dead, especially with Lanxing still having his own flash up. You have great setup there.
And I have to say, looking at that level 1 play, Dagda, that felt a little bit overzealous from Xie. That felt like, I need to carry this. Flashing in, gets immediately exhausted, just ends up going down, but he did not need to make that play. He did not have to flash forward to try and get that first blood. And realistically, even if he gets the kill, he's probably guaranteeing his own death.
And I mean, Mark wasn't going to carry the fight now, was he? So maybe she feeling a little bit of pressure. But yeah, I mean, look, he wants to be the carry. His Orianna play has been spectacular throughout these early stages or the early stages of playoffs. So I want to see him once again having that big performance. But unfortunately, there the issue was Mark not connecting with these hooks, and then at the last second, SOFM getting out on a sliver of health with that hook actually being tanked up by Bin in that scenario.
So Suning off to a great start here, and when you actually look at the gold lead right now, it's already 1,000 in favor of Suning, which I'm not even sure where all of that gold's come from, to be quite honest, because it's only one kill, but SOFM grabs himself a shrine here. He wants to move up towards the top side of the map.
This is so smart from SOFM. As we talked about, Peanut wanting to, well, in my head, I wanted to see Peanut going towards this top side, and SOFM obviously reading that play as well. Getting control, understanding, right, Peanut is definitely going to be on bottom side with that Predator. Everyone on the bottom side needs to be safe.
Oh my goodness. He tries to find some pressure onto Bin, but it just is not happening on the top side of the map. And now SOFM is here to deny the recall. Axe goes out, Undertow keeps Lanxing in the play. The shock blast is there. Lanxing had his flash.
I mean, you were going to go down. I actually don't mind that. Lanxing was dying anyway. He wasn't getting out from that. You just have SOFM tank up the third, and they kill him regardless, even if he flashes. So Lanxing accepting his fate there. The biggest issue that I have here is that Peanut isn't helping him out. Lanxing sets up gank potential so damn well on this Renekton, especially with Bin having no flash, and the fact that Peanut didn't even pick up boots as a Predator jungler. Well, I don't understand what he thinks about for this Skarner.
Yeah, Peanut is definitely wanting to farm on this one. He's not going for the boots here with the Predator, just going to be trying to get his jungle item ASAP. In the meantime, the map is sort of falling apart around him. It's 2 kills now in favor of Suning, but importantly, we're 4.5 minutes in, and Bin has already returned to the lane with a serrated Dirk. Lanxing, this is not going to get any better for you, my friend.
And why I wanted to see this early aggression from Peanut, SOFM now is doing a fantastic job. We've already read, okay, Angel and Bin are the winning lanes for Suning. SOFM has split the map now, so that he's able to continuously keep pressure for Bin, allowing him to put down this hurt onto Lanxing and get these early turret hits.
Lanxing trying to find an opportunity and onto Bin, but
hang on.
it's just not happening. SOFM smites the wolf as he escapes from Peanut, who's just going to look for the shrine and try and clear some of this vision out. But SOFM, he already got all the camps, and he's happy to walk away with that one.
But that's the thing. Peanut now forced back down towards this bottom side of the map again if he wants to farm, but his bot side camps are all gone. SOFM is winning out so heavily in this jungle matchup. Bin is massively far ahead in the top, and Sword Art wants to make mid-win.
Xie still doesn't have his flash, but the Cosmic Binding won't connect, and now Peanut's moving in. Does have the boots this time around, but it's not going to do a whole heap of anything as Mark now looks for the hook. This is the opportunity. Sword Art the first one to go down, and immediately Angel tries to finish off Xie. He manages to get the kill for himself and still has flash. Somehow it's a 1-for-1.
Great job from Angel to get that kill. They managed to get the turnaround onto Xie, which makes that so worth for Suning and Peanut.
Oh, he gets a bonus ignite in. Peanut forced to flash. I don't even think Angel had the mana for a battle star there. But you know what? A flash is a flash.
But all he's doing is putting hurt onto Peanut, stopping him from getting back into the jungle. SOFM now has cleared his bot side camps, moving into contest on this bottom side for LGD now. Like, Suning are doing so well in this early game.
Peanut has a shield up. Mark still sticking around, but Sword Art's here too. And SOFM at worst is just going to get all of the small chickens. Angel
got him again.
Another trouble bubble in. Mark able to block the follow-up damage, but an Undertow is enough. And it's the camp secured. Look at the CS difference that is building up in this jungle.
And everywhere. Top is losing, mid is losing, jungle is losing. The only one that is actually in favor of LGD is Kramer in this bottom side. Like, LGD have gone for this team that, at least with this Skarner, needs to spike early, and they're running a while.
Peanut's in trouble. Sword Art over the wall with the Cosmic Journey. Magical Journey, Cosmic Binding. Here we go. Peanut's trying to get away from this one, but Bin's not letting him go anywhere. True Shot Barrage goes wide as Lanxing, now with the Dominus, wants to force this play a little bit. He's onto Bin, and that is plenty of damage to take down to Jace. Binding comes out as Angel now trying to escape from the play. Doesn't have flash, needs the Blast Cone or a Magical Journey.
Yeah, nice job from Sword Art to blast him back, which means that they can take out this Magical Journey, but at least LGD get one kill back in the favor. SOFM, though, was on this bottom side, taking the Dragon while all this fiasco is going on, so Suning again, still picking up objectives while LGD have their attention elsewhere.
And let's be honest here, Dagda, Suning still winning out the trade. Like,
While
LGD managed to get themselves a pick off the back of everything, look at the CS numbers. 15 in the mid lane, you got 15 in the jungle, you got 20 up on the top side of the map as Bin clears away the wave in the mid lane here. And the bottom lane is going to be going neutral because we've got 280 carries that don't want to fight in the early game. So they're essentially just not a part of the equation at this stage.
And it's weird to see from LGD because Peanut's pathing is usually so smart where he's like, okay, I know exactly where I need to be, how I want to approach this, but the fact this early game he decided to not play around Longxing and set him up in that top side of the map, it is baffling to me, especially with the pathing route that he took, because Kramer and Mark, well, they weren't really in a position to try and go for plays in the bottom lane.
I think to double down on that as well, as Sword Art moves towards the mid lane, he's just going to be trying to get out on the map here. Like, I just want to cast everyone's minds back to watching the Shy play Jace on the top side. Jace wants to push. Jace wants to be underneath the enemy tower. He is very regularly in a vulnerable position that can be punished by junglers, and Peanut not opting into punishing it.
On the counter side, though, SOFM has done an amazing job in this early game. Getting in towards that top side, taking control of the map, allowing Bin to keep pushing. 2 turret plates for the Jace and the CS lead. Bin's in great shape.
Yeah, Angel as well now is looking for more picks. The Herald was started, but it's to bait LGD in, I think, because now over towards the top side of the map, slow comes out from Angel. Predator now going to be on cooldown. Longxing does have the Dominus available. If he can get on a flank with that Dominus, he's still going to be terrified.
Man advantage for LGD right now, though, with Huanfeng still in this bottom side of the map. So LGD will be able to take this Rift Herald. The problem is Huanfeng not really having a huge amount of mana to push ball.
Oh, here we go. He wants the steal for himself. Not going to get it. And out with the magical journey. So nice smite there from Peanut to make sure that his team finds something here, because damn did they need it.
So Huanfeng has just about managed to get this bottom wave in, though, so we'll be able to get some of these turret plates for himself, which is nice. So LGD will only be really answering for some of this turret take that has already happened on Suning's side.
And importantly, that CS advantage is going to build up a tiny bit for Huanfeng on the bottom side, since we saw Kramer moving up to be a part of that Rift Herald play. So now the question, as always, is going to become, what can Peanut do with the Herald? Because last time around, we did see LGD take those 3 out of towers long before Suning.
I imagine he will try and use this mid still. Again, 2 minutes until this dragon. Xie is set up to be the prime carry again here in this game alongside Kramer. But Xie's Orianna has been fantastic. It's just been unfortunate that he hasn't really had an opportunity to showcase that skill in this game.
See Longxing checking to see if SOFM had actually finished that recall and been immediately, as soon as you step up, Longxing is going to be punished here. Kramer has an opportunity to answer for the 1 plate that Huanfeng took in that bottom side while the Rift Herald play was going on. Now the wave cleared up, as Huanfeng obviously went back to base to buy himself that mana moon. But Longxing, oh my goodness, he is low underneath this tower, still has his Dominus, but Bin's going to be able to force that just with the Ghost Blade passive, and now he can keep this up all day long. Shock Blast doesn't land, and that means Bin has to back away.
So Longxing will get the wave here now back. What I'm curious to see, though, is what Longxing does here. Does he use his teleport to get back to lane, or is he saving it for this dragon? Longxing has been one of the most selfless junglers, or selfless top laners even, in the LPL, where he will often use it towards helping the team when it comes to teleports, but realizing, look, I can't give Bin this much control of the top lane and all these turret plates, or I'm out of the game entirely.
So what you're saying is Longxing definitely a Morgan kind of top laner, right? He's following in Morgan's shoes.
No, let's not go there. Let's not go there.
Hang on, Longxing though in trouble because SOFM has moved towards this top side. Going to clear the vision out. Peanut is here as well. And they're just going to commit onto a fight here. Peanut forced the flash very early on. Dodges away from the Tempered Fate, but it means he had to dodge into the team of Suning. Another pick, this time to the Viking.
And again, this is great from SOFM. Coming up here when Bin's low on mana to make sure he can push that wave out, get his recall and keep that teleport for the dragon play. But SOFM ends up running into Peanut. They just pick him off alongside Sword Art. And Suning once again coming out on top. A 3,000 gold lead for Suning at the 12 minute.
And you would not think that it's LGD the ones with the Herald, the way that SOFM is playing around this top tower trying to force the issue there. Now he gets to move towards the bottom side of the map. Suning got that first strike of the game, and they're looking for an Infernal as well.
Xie is here to try and get some vision alongside Mark. They know that at least Suning are only coming back onto the map for the moment, but Peanut has returned. Bin has his TP still for this fight, though, so LGD needs to be careful about how they approach this.
Oh, this is Nice little smite from SOFM to make sure that they get the Scuttle Crab. And now he can grab the Shrine, he can grab complete control of the Dragon.
That was the time, though. Peanut had this Stinger, the ultimate available. SOFM had no Ragnarok. You could have just turned on towards him with Kramer coming up with the curtain call to finish off this Olaf, but LGD not willing to pull the trigger. It feels very reminiscent of this last game.
That's exactly what we saw in game 1, right? We saw them a little bit nervous on just forcing any kinds of engages. We are going to see now Lanxing moves over as they drop their Herald in this mid lane to force pressure, force an opportunity to get onto the Dragon, but you're against the Bard, so the Herald not really going to work quite in the way that they wanted. They do still get this Dragon for themselves with the pressure they exert.
However, Bin's on this top side. Lanxing talked about being selfless. He tried to roam down in case Bin went for this teleport play, but Bin's just going to take the tower instead.
Onfang had to flash on the bottom side there. It was a nice deadly flourish predicting the Arcane Shift. Bin has almost finished that tower. He has got so much gold from these points.
I mean, he's got the Yoma's Ghostblade already. He's going to be doing so much work. And you can see Lanxing can't even hope to trade against them.
And like the advantage Renekton can get in that top lane is if he finds the all-in, but it is just not happening. He's too far behind at this point. Unless Bin severely messes up the matchup, it's not happening. Peanut can't even get his own Crook sword out contesting.
And I mean, even if we don't take the kills into effect, even the turret plates into effect, we're still seeing these massive CS leads across the board. Suning are going to be able to just power this home. And the issue is for LGD, how do you try and fight against Suning when they're in command? You can't get on top of them. You don't like have any of these really long engage tools apart from Kramer's Deadly Flourish. But that requires someone else on LGD to have set you up for that to work.
And I have to say, Doctor, this is feeling a little bit reminiscent of the third place series now.
It is a little
except
bit.
Without a gold lead in game 1 for LGD. And I'm starting to think, maybe everyone's saying that it was just LGD not caring about third, all of this. Maybe isn't the case because Suning looked pretty damn good. And I have to say that Suning, they have been underestimated at every step of their journey. And they are showing that they are one of the best teams in the LPL.
And that's the thing. This is assuming that's a rookie in Bin who's been absolutely incredible in the top lane. The most solo kills of any top laner in that. I was kind of looking at the Yoma's Ghostblade. Is he going again? But no, Suning, our Bin has been absolutely incredible. Onfang, the standout AD carry, again a rookie coming into the squad. It kept feeling like everyone was looking at Suning going, okay, but at what stage are the rookies going to crumble? But they've only gotten better and better as this year has gone on.
And I have to say, a bit of a struggle here for LGD. It's something where, when we look at LGD, the way that they have found those wins is being able to get out on the map, and specifically Xie being one of the primary carries later on in the split. But unfortunately, he's not been able to have an impact. He died twice in this second game. And I don't think it's single-handedly down to Xie necessarily, but he's definitely struggling in this one. Same could be said for Peanut, and maybe this squad of veterans is not going to be enough to take down Suning. I'm speaking a little early. We're 1-0 in the series, Dagda. Maybe I'm getting ahead of myself, but it is feeling hard with a 5,000 gold lead.
And I mean, we're seeing Peanut pop this Predator once again for no real case. He's not able to follow up on it. And at this stage, it kind of feels more like the Predator is being popped to give a little line symbol above Suning's head to just say, yeah, guys, you're doing a great job. It's like a little emote that they didn't have before.
I think it's a wolf. I'm pretty sure the Predator is like a wolf rather than a lion. It's like a dog kind of thing.
All right. Well, look, I'm giving it a line in this one, all right? Because Suning are definitely the more predatory in this game.
Well, I know my dog Millie is certainly a predator when the treats come out, so feels like she's a little bit more vicious than Peanut has been in this game, that's for sure. And that's the second Predator jungler we're seeing across the course of the last couple of days, as we saw the Predator coming out of the Gragas from Casa. He had significantly more success with that pick than what we're seeing here for LGD, as SOFM now the one to get the second Herald. This is the first Herald of the series for Suning.
And this is just Suning playing so well around this top side of the map. SOFM again has been absolutely incredible this playoff, stepping up huge. And I know how prideful Vietnam are of this guy, and he's definitely deserved it this playoff.
Xie takes a massive shot blast there as the Herald goes in on the mid lane. Mark going to be targeted here as SOFM charges into the play. Angel tries to finish him. Nice stopwatch coming on out as Kramer tries to protect his support. Been happy to tank up for a little bit, but they got to get underneath these towers here. Sword Art takes a chunk, but Kramer just doesn't really have the damage yet.
And that's the thing. Kramer, now not having that ult, allows Suning to play much more aggressive. They can start to look at these shockwaves, trying to see if they can pick folks off.
Oh, here we go, Tempered Fate. The fight begins as Bin just hammering away onto Lunching, who's forced out of the play. So not the only one to go down so far, though, and Suning can't actually find their way into this one. Angel's pretty low as well, Shock Blast onto Kramer. And even though they lose the fight, it's Suning that moved towards this dragon that's up in 20 seconds.
The poke is so strong on Suning's side. It's when they're able to have this re-engage opportunity with the critical call down, that's when Suning are going to strike. And you can see it now, trying to get onto Xie underneath this tower.
They would love to get themselves a tier 1 on top of this Drake. They want advantage after advantage this game, and they are going to find it. Bin might find a kill as Xie. Whew. The movement speed just gets him out.
Still though, Suning get the tower, they get this dragon, they're getting these advantages still. And this is where, if Suning had actually fallen behind in this early game, they wouldn't have been able to put their foot down quite as heavily as they have, but with the confidence and the gold lead they have, LGD can't do very much.
Peanut is here, he wants to contest the dragon, he's going to be a little late as Lunching teleports into the play as well. SOFM, he used his ult quite early, but Peanut's ult is going to be on cooldown anyway. SOFM has the flash, needs to use it over the wall here as Angel just throws out a trouble bubble. They get away with the Drake anyway, and it's an Ocean Soul for the second time this game.
Bin is threatening.
Second time this series.
Bin is threatening topside though. And this is where LGD have been forced to deal with so many different angles of attack from Suning, and overall, they're just not doing the best jobs of dealing with it.
I mean, let's talk about the top lane a second when it comes to items. Because on one side, we got Lunching, he's got a Black Cleaver, feeling all right. On the other side, we got Bin, who's already finished 2 full lethality items with his boots and a bunch of extra swords on top as well. Bin is monstrously fed right now. And when he finds a Shock Blast onto Xie or Kramer, and I say when, not if, he is going to take them down to half HP.
Lunching. Playing with...
Hang on.
Yeah, this is
I
not
thought he
good.
was going to be fine. He is not going to
no.
be fine here. Tempered Fates have been on point from Sword Art. Cosmic Bindings, maybe not so much, but the slows are going to be there. And Lunching doesn't even have his flash. There's nothing he can do. Dominus used, but Angel gifted the kill here by the rest of his team. LGD trying to answer in the top side.
The only saving grace for LGD is Kramer in this bottom lane. Infinity Edge completed, Zeal underway as well. Like, this guy is, at least from a damage perspective, super strong. So if LGD are able to get on top of Suning, they do have a carry that they can work through. The issue is getting on top of Suning.
Suning now going to hammer away in the mid lane as well to get themselves a tier 2 here. And in the meantime, Angel gets to grab another tower on the bottom side of the map. We are rocketing ahead on the side of Suning as they build themselves a 5,000 gold lead now. They're 2 Drakes up as well. They've got 4 towers to 2. This feels like it's all going the way of the Lions. What can LGD do now? How do they get back into this game? Because they definitely have some late game pressure with this Orianna.
They got to do hit and run. They got to try and hide off in the side here, see if they can catch out members of LGD. But pick
to the skies onto a minion Bin. That was just beautiful.
And it's heartbreaking for LGD because they're trying. Peanut's been hiding down there trying to see if he can pick anyone off for so long. Xie using that shockwave to try and catch anyone.
That was like comparable to the collateral damage to get over the wall we saw yesterday. The levels of swag. Flash was available from Bin here. He didn't need to use it. He was like, I'm just going to go on the minion.
Carson was on a different level. Carson's ult on Graves over the wall
that was
so
like,
that he could get into it.
That was like, in terms of fashion, that was like your kind of Louis Vuitton level of swag. Whereas Bin bringing it up with, I don't know any more fashion. That's all of my references. God damn it, I've fallen short on this. I guess he's Nike on this one. I guess. I mean,
all right.
Save me, Dagda.
Look, we're going to be looking over towards this Baron that has spawned now. We're 22 minutes into the game. The thing for Suning, though, is going towards Baron is playing a little bit with suicide, because honestly, you up in that pit gives the opportunity for LGD to come in from multiple different angles. They can actually corner you in that pit, and that's where LGD can strike. As long as Suning are able to play back and have multiple escape routes, that's when they're going to be relatively okay. So for Suning, they need to be very careful with how they approach this Baron.
Look at Honfongo just hammering away on Peanut. He knows he's safe. With the Iceborne Gauntlet, worth mentioning, he has hit those 2 items we always talk about with Ezreal. On the other side, though, Kramer in a similar situation. He has his Infinity Edge, and he has that Rapid Fire cannon.
The funny thing for Kramer, though, is by going towards this Infinity Edge Rapid Fire, he's actually kind of hurting what LGD need, because all they want, really, is an ability to get on towards Sunny. A Storm Razors gives you that option, because if you have Storm Razors Rapid Fire, a slowing auto attack does far more for LGD than a damage buff from...
Here we go, we've got a pick coming on through. As it's SOFM on the front line, uses the Ragnarok, but he's kind of squishy still. Somehow gets out with the movement speed and the tempered bait from Sword Art. Now looking for a Cosmic Finding over the wall, won't quite find it just yet. As Kramer gets away, hooked onto Sword Art. They're trying to shut down the Bard here as the Shockwave comes through. And this is the fight LGD were looking for. Now onto Huanfeng, Angel's there alongside him. The two carries lost in the world here. Huanfeng over the wall to join up with the Zoe of Angel. They are 2v5 though, but Angel ain't stopping for nothing. Does dodge away from the hook coming out from Markline. Xing now forces the flash out from Angel. Huanfeng and Angel just keeping this one going. They're not afraid to keep playing with this idea, but Peanut now over the wall doesn't have his flash available. Huanfeng is pretty low on mana. He still seems to want this 1v5.
I don't know if he can go for the 1v5. Has made his way back towards his own side of the jungle, but Mark is hiding on the wings.
He's tried his best, but now Huanfeng is hooked. I just don't know why he was there. Has to flash away from this one, and he's shut down by Xie. This felt a little overconfident from Suning.
TP from Bin. They're still going for this.
Bin wants to extend the play even further. Shock Blast into the brush here, but Bin, he needs to be careful. No, he doesn't need to be careful. It's Xie that's careful on this one. Bin will go down for his crimes here. And it's a 1-for-1.
I mean, in the extended grand scheme of things, that's a win for LGD. TP from Bin kills across the board. They got the dragon. Suning just gifted LGD the fight they want.
I feel like we are finally seeing the Suning Scrim Gods, but this is the kind of play that you would expect in scrims, right? Where you get a little overconfident, you get yourself a lead, and you start to do some daft play.
But we talked about how these pits, like the Baron pit, are super scary for Suning, because when they start to approach them and they're able to get wrangled in by LGD, that's when LGD can pounce. However, in this case, Suning just said, hey, you know what? Let's go for the engage. Sword Art going in with this magical journey after the Tempered Fate, trying to set up for these easy long-range engages. Gives his life over. Huanfeng gives his life over. Bin TPing in to try and make a play also gives his life across. So Suning definitely needs to play this a little bit safer and use the range that is inherent in this composition. Now, Suning control a Baron area though. I don't know. They look like they started it up.
Suning just going to kick this one off apparently. SOFM not even in the pit here as Mark, the one that has to face check over the wall though. They were just seeing if they could get away with it, seeing what they could sneak.
Yeah, but again, do need to be careful. At least having the magical journey means they have the...
That was a Ragnarok.
What?
SOFM, I don't know if that was the play, my friend. Just ulting the minions, maybe not the strongest strategy.
Now LGD can turn towards this Baron though, try and tempt Suning in towards a play, because they have to try and at least get vision control back, because LGD can still go towards this dragon. Or sorry, this Baron.
LGD though, not actually going to start this one off. They're trying to control vision, make sure that Suning doesn't have any idea of what's going on over on that side of the map, but Suning not falling for the bait just yet. SOFM now going to try and move into that portion of the jungle, but he's got to be careful with his Ragnarok on cooldown.
And you can see LGD starting up this Baron. They're trying to force Suning in here. Being on the bottom side of the map, he's only making his way towards this area.
Huanfeng manages to keep himself safe from the hook. A lot of damage onto Mark. Bin trying to follow up as well as SOFM going to stop Peanut getting onto the back of the play. Mark went down and now Xing finds himself too deep into Suning's territory. Angel gets the trouble bubble, followed up by Huanfeng for the double kill. Now onto Xie as well for the triple, and now that is the go button for Baron.
LGD can't find the engage that they want. Suning kite back expertly. Now they get the kills and this Baron for themselves, and Suning looking so clean in game 2.
This is what we wanted to see from Suning. This is the kind of mid-game play that we know. This is where they always find their leads. But they didn't even need to find a lead in the mid-game. They found it in the early game, threw it away a little bit, and now get it back.
The thing is, though, we're still seeing difficulties with the engagement calls coming through from LGD, where at the start of this, you can see Mark gets a great hook on towards Huanfeng, but not having LGD there to fully commit towards this play, and then we end up so spread out on LGD's side. Long Xing and Peanut are fully chased in towards his top side, giving Bin access to zone off Xie and Kramer, And it's divide and conquer for Suning. When you've got this much poke, this long range, engage, it's so easy for Suning to play around LGD's mistakes.
And this is why we talk about Huanfeng on the Ezreal as well. Using these abilities so perfectly, baits the hook from Mark while he still has his Arcane Shift, so he's completely fine to tank that one up for his team. And then able to clean up the fight beautifully. His True Shot Barrage as well, doing way more damage than I expected.
And even if he doesn't...
Oh, hang on, Shockwave onto Sword Art here, Tempered Fate.
Oh no.
Sword Art, you might have just taken yourself out. In fact, no, it's Bin that's being taken out, but he gets a whole bunch of damage out before he falls, and it means it's more kills for Huanfeng. More damage onto the carry, quadra kill on the Ezreal, and surely they gift it over. Lanxing cannot get out of this one. You gotta give it to the rookie AD carry in the regionals, the pentakill!
Welcome to the LPL Huanfeng. Suning gifting over the Penta in the regional finals. Suning setting down the tone for which they hope to continue towards that world stage.
And it's so damn beautiful to see Huanfeng living up to the reputation that he is already building for himself. This will be the Nexus falling. This will be Suning repeating their third performance here as they head to a 2-0 scoreline in our regional finals.
Suning picking the perfect draft against LGD's composition, executing on it so damn well, and just not giving LGD the opportunity to really find a look in this game.
2-0 for the Lions. What a way to do it as well. And I'm not going to lie, he got a little bit dicey in that mid game when they were playing around the Dragon. But that play, even if it was a little bit silly, even if it looked a bit dicey for them, look, the confidence that Angel and Huanfeng are showing on that one is unbelievable. Just dancing around. They are happy to try a 2v5.
I mean, there was standout performances across the board. Bin dominating that top lane, SOFM controlling the jungle against Peanut from the early to mid stages, and then as you talked about, Angel and Huanfeng in these fights alongside Sword Art with these fantastic tempered fades. Like, it just was so damn clean.
And you know, we often talk about trident teams in the LPL, how you've got to carry in each of the lanes. If that damage chart doesn't show you exactly that, I don't know what will.
I mean, look, overall, it has just been so well played from Suning this entire series long. And from the get-go, we said, look, SOFM read LGD like a book. From the very get-go, we said, look, Peanut wants to try and move in towards his top lane, get this Renekton matchup in Lanxing's favor, and he wasn't able to do so because SOFM invaded topside, got the vision control, clearing out that jungle on topside over and over, making sure we ended up in a split map situation, which meant Peanut couldn't influence either top or mid, the two prime examples where you need to have that impact.
And Dagda